Gemini, have you felt lately as if the universe has been trying to tell you something? A subtle sign, a chance encounter, or just a faint intuition that makes your heart tremble as if something is about to change, though you can't quite name it. Maybe it's a message you haven't replied to, a casual comment you once dismissed, or an opportunity you thought, that's not for me. But no, Gemini, sometimes what seems insignificant is exactly the turning point the universe has planned for you. You live in a constant flow of thoughts, quick, agile, always seeking to understand everything. But perhaps it's time to pause for a moment and listen to what can't be explained by logic. Because sometimes the universe doesn't speak in words, it speaks through feelings, through intuition you've been brushing aside amid the noise of the world. And if you're hearing these words right now, maybe the universe is whispering, pay attention, Gemini, because what you've been overlooking is about to change everything. Mercury, your ruling planet, is reopening old doors, unfinished thoughts, and stories you once believed were over. But this time, things appear clearer, truer, and deeper. You're being invited not just to understand with your mind, but with your soul. What you once ignored will return not to haunt you, but to complete you. If you feel a quiet intuition inside that something is about to happen, leave a comment saying, I'm ready to listen to what I once ignored. Because the very moment you admit you're ready, the universe will begin unfolding the next chapter. Now, take a deep breath. Put your phone down for a moment. Make yourself a warm cup of tea or coffee, because what you're about to hear isn't just another story. It might just be the message meant especially for you, Gemini. Part 1. Signs from the universe. The truth hidden behind what you've been ignoring. Gemini, have you ever felt like the universe was whispering to you through things that seemed meaningless? A missed call from someone you used to be close with, an old memory that suddenly resurfaces, or a recurring dream that leaves you uneasy. You might think it's coincidence, just small, random moments in life. But no, the universe never acts at random. It's trying to make you look back at what you've unintentionally overlooked. Gemini, you are the sign of air, movement, intellect, and connection. Your mind is like a miniature universe constantly in motion, endlessly curious, always wanting to understand everything. But because of that, you often get caught in the fast flow of life. You talk, you share, you laugh, you analyze, yet sometimes you don't really listen. Not because you don't want to, but because your mind is so loud that the subtle signals from the universe can't find a way in. Think back for a moment. How many times have you had a sudden feeling that something was about to happen? A fleeting thought that came and went. A momentary intuition you brushed aside only to realize later that it was right all along. Gemini, that's the voice of your soul, the way the universe speaks to you, through intuition. You are the child of Mercury, the planet of intellect, communication, and the constant exchange of information between worlds. When Mercury speaks, things begin to shift around you. Old conversations return. Relationships you thought were over show signs of life again. Unfinished projects suddenly find momentum. The universe is gently nudging you to look at the unfinished sentences of your life, the things you never truly closed. Maybe it's a friend you drifted away from, but still have unspoken words for. Maybe it's a choice you abandoned out of fear. Or maybe it's a dream you once chased but lost faith in along the way. Whatever it is, it's still there waiting for you to pause long enough to see it with new eyes. The universe never sends signals just to test you. It repeats the lessons you haven't fully learned. Every coincidence is a gentle question. Are you ready to understand this time? Gemini, your mind moves fast enough to rationalize anything, but that speed also makes you lose the chance to feel. Not everything needs analysis. Some things can only be understood in stillness. And right now, Mercury's energy is inviting you into that stillness, a space to listen to something deeper, something you've ignored by living only through logic. Pay attention to the signs around you. A symbol, a number, a song, or just that strange feeling of déjà vu there always. The universe is saying, "Hey Gemini, slow down. Stop running. There's something you need to notice." And when you truly stop, you'll realize the universe was never silent. It's been speaking all along, you just hadn't heard it yet. You haven't missed your chance. You're simply being given another opportunity to see everything clearer, deeper, and with the wisdom of who you've become. Mercury is now aligning moments from your past and present, opening doors for healing, for unfinished conversations, unshed emotions, unresolved stories. And when you step through that door with awareness, everything begins to change, not with noise or drama, but with a quiet clarity that makes you think, "Finally, I understand." Gemini, you were gifted with sharp intellect, but don't forget that intuition is also a form of intelligence. Sometimes what you need isn't an answer, it's silence, so you can hear yourself. The universe is speaking to you through the smallest things. Let your mind quiet down so your heart can speak. Because what you once dismissed as nothing might just be the missing piece of the bigger picture unfolding for you in the days ahead. If you've been noticing repeated coincidences or subtle signs from the universe, leave a comment saying, "I'm ready to listen to the message meant for me." And don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because whenever the universe has something to say, you'll be the first to hear it. Part 2. When the mind overshadows the heart. Why Gemini often misses what matters most. Gemini, you are one of the most extraordinary souls in the Zodiac. Intelligent, sharp, and quick enough to understand people with just a glance. You can hear what others don't say, read between the lines, and connect life's dots with your brilliant logic. But because of that intellect, you sometimes forget one simple truth. The heart doesn't speak in logic. You're not afraid of the truth. You just have a habit of overanalyzing it. Whenever emotions arise, your mind immediately starts asking questions. Why am I feeling this way? Am I imagining things? What if I'm wrong? And while your mind debates, your heart falls silent, quietly watching as you build a wall of logic so thick that no emotion can get through. Gemini, you're a master observer, but you rarely allow yourself to feel. You can understand everyone else so well, yet you often feel lost when it comes to understanding yourself. You know how to comfort, encourage, and uplift others, but when you need that same care, you go quiet, pretending everything's fine. Why? Because you fear losing control. You fear that if you let your heart lead, you'll get hurt. So, you seek safety in logic, trying to explain and reason with your emotions until they fade away. But Gemini, emotions aren't meant to be analyzed, they're meant to be felt. How many times have you told yourself, "It's not the right time. Don't make it a big deal." Or, "Everything will work out." You say that not because you're indifferent, but because it's your way of avoiding what lies deeper. Because to admit that you're sad, scared, or hurting means you'd have to do something about it. And sometimes, that change feels more terrifying than the pain itself. Astrologically, when Mercury, your ruling planet, forms a tense angle with Neptune, everything becomes foggy. You see endless possibilities, imagine countless scenarios, but can't tell which one is real. Your heart wants something, but your mind interrupts. Am I just making this up? And so you freeze caught between thought and feeling, between what you think and what you know. Deep down. Gemini, you're not weak. In fact, you're incredibly strong, but it's the kind of strength that often suffers in silence. You smile at everyone, say clever and witty things, while a quiet voice inside whispers, "I just wish someone understood me the way I understand others." Sometimes, the universe doesn't need you to understand. It just needs you to acknowledge, because understanding doesn't heal, feeling does. Healing begins the moment you stop analyzing and start allowing. When you can admit, "I'm scared. I miss them. I'm hurt." You open the door for the universe to step in and help. Gemini, you're brilliant enough to decode anything, but not everything needs decoding. Some things are meant to be felt in silence. You don't have to name everything you feel. Just be present long enough to let your heart speak. Because the universe doesn't send signs for you to analyze, it sends them for you to feel. What your mind understands is knowledge. What your heart feels is wisdom. Pay attention. There are moments when you know something is right, when you feel deep inside that this person matters, or this path is mine. But because you can't logically explain it, you walk away, only to realize later that your intuition was right all along. That's your soul speaking, Gemini, the voice you've silenced for too long. It's time to reconcile the two sides of you: intellect and emotion, logic and soul. When those parts align, everything suddenly becomes crystal clear. Remember, intelligence won't always save you. Only honesty with your emotions will help you understand what the universe is truly trying to say. And the moment you stop trying to figure it out, you'll finally know. So today, be honest with yourself. Ask gently, when was the last time I truly followed my heart? Share your answer in the comments below. And if this message resonates with you, hit like and subscribe so you can continue awakening alongside thousands of other Geminis on the journey to reconnecting the mind and the heart. Part 3. When the universe no longer lets you hide. Gemini, have you noticed sometimes life feels like a song that keeps repeating itself, only changing its melody? At first, the universe taps softly, sending you a few gentle notes to catch your attention, a fleeting intuition, an unforgettable dream, or a random comment that hits the very fear you've been trying to bury. But if you keep ignoring it, the song grows louder, more insistent, until you can no longer pretend you don't hear it. That's when the universe raises its voice. Not with words, but through events. Something happens powerful enough to make you stop. It could be a conversation that shakes you, a coincidence so strange it gives you chills, or someone from your past suddenly reappearing just when you thought that story was over. And in that very moment, your heart starts racing, not out of fear, but because your soul recognizes, this is what I've been running from. Gemini, this isn't punishment. It's a divine summons, a call to return to your own center. You've gone too far into your mind, into other people's stories, into the roles you've built, so everyone would believe you're fine. But deep down, you know there's a part of you waiting to be heard. The part that longs to be real again. And the universe, in its infinite compassion, won't let you forget that forever. When Mercury, your ruling planet, aligns with Pluto, all illusions start to crack. Masks, excuses, and distractions stop working. You stand face to face with yourself. No more detours. No more delays. What's left is the raw truth about what you truly feel, what you truly desire, and what you must finally release. And you know what? It's not as terrifying as you think, because what you've been afraid to face is actually the very thing that can set you free from the old cycles. The universe isn't cornering you. It's pushing you out of a comfort zone that has become too small for your soul. Think back, how many times have you stood between two choices? One safe, the other, the one your heart really wanted. And most of the time, you chose safety. You chose logic, predictability, control. But life, Gemini, isn't meant to be controlled. It's meant to be felt, lived, experienced. You may feel tired, even confused, as everything starts to shift. But remember, whenever the universe takes something away, it's only clearing space for what's meant to come. Someone leaving makes room for someone new. A door closing reminds you that you've outgrown that place. And a painful truth revealed is often the medicine that heals you from old illusions. Gemini, you've always been good at adapting, at twisting situations to make them work. But what the universe is teaching you now isn't adaptation. It's acceptance. Acceptance that you don't need to understand everything. Acceptance that not everyone is meant to stay. Acceptance that change isn't always loss, sometimes it's growth. Sometimes it's your soul outgrowing what once kept it small. The universe is helping you see more clearly than ever before what's real, what's false, what's worth keeping, and what needs to go. And when you find the courage to face it, everything starts to make sense. No more confusion, no more doubt. You realize that you haven't really lost anything, you've simply been given the chance to live more truthfully. Gemini, if life feels chaotic right now, take a deep breath. This isn't the end. It's an awakening. Because no flame ever shines bright without first burning fiercely. And no soul ever finds freedom without first facing what it once feared. Let your heart open. Don't resist what's unfolding. It's not happening to you. It's happening for you. If you've ever had a moment when the universe forced you to wake up, leave in the comments a sign that you've received this message. And don't forget to subscribe so you can keep receiving the signs and messages the universe sends your way. The ones that help you not only understand life, but truly understand your soul. Part 4. Honesty is Gemini's key to freedom. Gemini, have you ever felt tired of your own smile? There are days when you still talk cheerfully, still shine in the crowd, still make everyone feel comfortable. Yet when you're alone, you fall silent. Not because you're sad, but because you're exhausted. Exhausted from trying to keep everything together, even when your heart is falling apart. Gemini lives between two worlds, the one you show and the one you actually feel. You're brilliant at observing, adapting, and creating energy that makes others feel safe. But sometimes, because of that, you forget one crucial thing. You, too, deserve to be yourself. You often choose words that please others because you hate conflict. You smile to keep the peace, even when your mind is in turmoil. You say, "I'm fine," when you're clearly not, just to avoid explaining, just so no one has to worry about you. But Gemini, every time you do that, you drift a little further away from your own center. Here's the truth. You don't need to speak better. You just need to speak truer, because the truth never hurts you, only hiding it does. Take a moment and look inward. Are you living honestly, or just living how others expect you to? Sometimes you stay silent because you fear being misunderstood. You compromise because you fear losing someone. You wear a mask because you fear being judged. But those fears are exactly what pull you away from your soul. Gemini, your ruling planet Mercury is now forming a meaningful aspect with Saturn, a meeting between intelligence and responsibility. It's a reminder that words are not just sound, they are energy. And when you dare to speak the truth, even if it's only to yourself, you release the energy that has been trapped in your heart. That's when healing begins. Honesty isn't about hurting others with blunt words. It's about having the courage to acknowledge what you truly feel, even in silence. It's saying I'm not okay without shame. It's walking away when your heart no longer belongs there. It's choosing what aligns with your truth, even if the world doesn't understand. Gemini, you were born to connect, but not to lose yourself in those connections. The universe doesn't need you to be perfect. It needs you to be real. Because only when you're honest with yourself do your mind and soul move in harmony. And in that harmony, every word you speak, every act you take, carries healing energy for yourself and for others. You may fear that being honest will make people leave, but trust this. Those who truly love you will stay because they love the real you, not the version you perform. And those who leave? They were never meant to stay on this part of your path. Mercury and Saturn are teaching you something vital: responsibility for your thoughts and words. Because each time you speak your truth, you plant a seed of authenticity in the universe. And that seed, sooner or later, blooms into freedom, the very freedom you've been searching for. Gemini, you don't need to say things that make others like you. You just need to say things that make your heart feel peaceful. Because true peace only comes from honesty. Remember, freedom doesn't come from pleasing everyone. It comes from daring to live in alignment with your soul. And once you begin to do that, you'll realize something miraculous. You never needed to prove anything. Because real light never has to try to be seen. If you're learning to be honest with yourself, leave a comment saying, I choose to speak the truth, even if it's only to myself. And don't forget to subscribe. Because Gemini, your journey toward true freedom is only just beginning. Part 5. The Call of the Soul. Rebirth from what you once overlooked. Gemini, perhaps you've traveled farther than you realize. The unfinished conversations, the missed opportunities, the emotions you once brushed aside, none of them ever truly disappeared. They've been waiting, quietly, somewhere in your memory, waiting for the day you would look back on them through the light of awareness. And maybe today, as you hear these words, this is that moment, the moment your soul begins to awaken. What you thought you lost has never really left. It has simply been standing there, patiently waiting for you to be ready. The universe has never forgotten its promise to you. Every crisis, every confusion, every wound you've endured, all of it was the universe's way of guiding you back to your true essence. Gemini, you are the soul of intellect and communication, gifted with insight and the ability to connect across time and space. But sometimes that very intellect leads you astray. You analyze too deeply, question too much, try to understand everything with logic, when all you really need to do is trust. Mercury, your ruling planet, is now moving direct, opening a new channel between your mind and your soul. It means you no longer have to choose between listening to logic or following your heart. Now, the two are merging into one. The things that once confused you are becoming clear. The why questions are slowly transforming into, what is this trying to teach me? And in that shift, you'll realize nothing was ever truly wrong. Everything was simply a lesson arriving in a different form. Gemini, you'll begin to feel lighter when you look back. Instead of blaming yourself for not listening to your intuition, you'll feel grateful because every detour made you wiser. Instead of regretting lost chances, you'll understand that some things must fall away to make space for what's meant to come. Every mistake, every loss, every so-called wrong turn was part of a perfectly orchestrated journey, one far more beautiful than you could have imagined. The universe is helping you see that you don't need to be right. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be real. Because when you live authentically, You stop chasing love, and instead, you naturally attract the souls that truly resonate with you. Do you remember a moment in your life when you felt you had touched something greater than yourself? Maybe it was when you helped someone without expecting anything in return, when you forgave someone who once hurt you, or when you stayed silent, not out of fear, but out of understanding. Those quiet moments were not random, they were signs of your soul awakening. Your rebirth won't arrive with thunder or lightning. It will come in stillness. One morning, you'll wake up and realize you no longer blame anyone. One afternoon, you'll hear an old song, and it won't hurt anymore. One night, you'll look in the mirror and smile not because life is perfect, but because you've made peace with yourself. That's the moment your soul has been reborn. From here on, everything changes. You no longer need to chase anyone or prove anything to the world. You'll simply live, speak, and love with honesty. And your energy will naturally radiate outward. And miraculously, when you live in alignment with your true self, you become light for others. What you've overcome will become someone else's hope. Your scars will become stories that heal. The truth you once feared will become a language of compassion. Gemini, you are no longer the person you once were. You're stepping into a new chapter, one filled with the calm of wisdom and the kindness of a soul that has grown. The universe is opening a new door for you. And the moment you step through, everything will begin to transform, not because of some external miracle, but because you have become the miracle. If you can feel the call of your soul, comment below. I'm ready for the new chapter of my Gemini soul. Let the universe hear you. And don't forget to subscribe, because your journey is far from over. It's only just beginning. The universe still has so much more to share with you and Gemini. I know you're finally ready to receive it all. Gemini, if you've listened this far, it means a part of you has truly awakened, the brave part, the honest part, the part that longs to live a life that feels deeper, truer, and more meaningful. What you once thought you missed wasn't a mistake, it was a lesson wrapped in silence. Every tear, every moment of confusion, every decision you hesitated to make, all of it has brought you here to this very moment, where you're finally beginning to see yourself more clearly than ever before. The message the universe wants to share with you through this video is simple. Stop trying to understand everything. Start feeling it. Because life isn't measured by how many times you're right, but by how many times you're honest with your heart. When you dare to face, to speak, and to live what you truly feel, you don't just free yourself. You inspire others who are still searching for their own light. Carry this message with you each day. When something makes you hesitate, pause and listen to what your heart is truly saying. When you choose silence just to keep the peace, ask yourself, does this make me feel at peace inside? And when you feel lost, remember, the universe has never abandoned you. It's simply waiting for you to return inward, where your answers have always been. Gemini, your journey isn't about becoming perfect. It's about becoming real. And within that truth, you'll find freedom, peace, and the kind of love you once believed you didn't deserve. If this message resonates with you, leave a comment saying, I'm ready for the new chapter of my Gemini soul, so the universe knows you've chosen the light. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because whenever a new message from the universe arrives, you'll be the first to receive it. Thank you for walking this path, the path of awareness, of truth, and of love. Remember, what you once thought you lost wasn't a loss, it was a doorway opening for you. I'll see you in the next video, where we'll journey even deeper into Gemini's awakening, the journey of light, of freedom, and of you.